Hi guys, so I'm using my video camera again, and I recorded a whole video, but I realized that the quality settings were off. Fucking camera, jeez. So yeah, this is my setup. Using this setup much more often these days, and my stupid friend is shitting her brains out. I can hear her all the way over here. But what has changed? Honestly, nothing much. I've been playing with these stupid little drone things, so you can see it up close, and it's nice and clear instead of my stupid webcam that I've been using for these videos. But I just wanted to use this video camera because I've made so many videos with the camera up close to my face, you know, really up close. But I wanted you guys to see how I look, because I think the webcam doesn't really do me much justice at all. So, but I mean, I can see myself in the camera and I always get distracted. Very bad. But yeah, I mean, things have changed. They really have, and I love what HRT has done for me. And you know, I look at it this way, where I've done my timeline for 1 year, which honestly I think I did a terrible job with that video. It's got 35,000 views on it, which is great. But I want a little message to anyone out there that's transgender, and if you're just starting out, it does get better. Hormones are magic. I mean, your results will vary, but I was 25 when I started them, and I'm 26 now, and they're still doing well for me. So don't count yourself out yet. I don't think it's ever too late to really transition. I just think you need to give it your all and stick in, stick to it. So, but, and a lot of people say the best part of hormones is boobs, because I have them. Boobs. Jeez. Boobs are really overrated. They're really not. They're not as awesome as people would think they would be. But yeah, boobs hurt when they grow. They really do. All about the boobs. But I mean, I really wish you guys would tell me, do I actually look like a female? Because I honestly never think I do. I always think that I look like a man, but that's my problem, not yours. And a lot of these videos and photos I see of other trans girls, I get so jealous or envious of them, where I just wish I really looked like them. I really do. Because I think my hair is shit, which I got it chemically straightened before. I think my overall face sucks. My eyebrows desperately need to be shaved, waxed, plucked, something. Other than that, I mean, my body, it's kind of on the heavier side lately. I don't know, I guess I've been eating a lot. But I miss a lot of things. It's kind of like a personal video or personal like blog, but I miss New Jersey so much. I do all the time. I miss my family. I have not seen my family since Christmas. And, you know, I probably won't see them for a while. I mean, they said they're going to come in the fall, but I don't know. I'm not holding my breath there. But I miss my brother. I miss my mom and dad. I miss my aunt. I miss a lot of people. Some of my old friends and people who, I will say this, have abandoned me over the past year for no reason. I mean, I don't know. I really don't understand why people did it. I had a handful of friends before I came out. Not anymore. Erica's the only friend I have left. And, you know, it's because some people just couldn't handle this. Some people just couldn't handle me being this way. Or maybe because I talked about it a lot when I came out. But it was because when I came out, no one bothered to use my name. No one bothered to try to make me feel more comfortable with this situation. And I've gotten into so many heated disputes and debates about it with people, and it kind of drove us all apart. Namely, with my parents, the same way. It's that they're not 100% on board with this. I mean, they are to a certain extent supportive, but they don't use my name. They don't refer to me as Catherine. They don't refer to me as their daughter. They don't refer to me as anything of the sort. But the other issue is they don't, when I question them on it, they don't really bother to give me a legitimate reason. They always say it's against their beliefs, or, there's always a reason. It's never, hey, we'll try, or it's just hard for us. It's always a reason. And with my friends and stuff, the big fallout with my relationship, which, it still haunts me to this day. I'm not gonna lie, but, I thought that, when I came out, I've read some success stories about relationships. I don't know. It's one of those things where people say, is it worth coming out? Is it worth exposing yourself to the negativity that people will give off when you come out? And at the end of the day, it's still worth it, because when I go to sleep as me. I don't have to live in a fantasy anymore. I don't have to imagine what life would be like as a female. I don't have to do that anymore. I mean, yeah, there's still a part of me that wishes I was born female and born with the proper parts, but I live authentically, out in public. I am treated like a female. Some guys are obvious when they're checking me out. I don't think I look good, so I don't understand why guys think I look good. Erica, do I look good?
I think so.
She's biased. You're not gonna say anything?
Of course I'm biased.
Yeah, I know. You think I look pretty.
Yeah, I know you look pretty.
I don't fucking look pretty. Seriously, in the comments below, be 100% brutally honest. Do I look okay, bad, good?
You always ask that. Seriously, you always ask that every time you're talking about your appearance. In the comments below, tell me the truth.
It's because you're all liars.
Tell her the truth. Again.
She's weird. I mean, I don't think I look pretty. I don't think I look feminine. I think I still look like a man. But back to the fucking shit I was talking about before you interrupted me.
You asked me!
What? I know I asked her. I'm losing. I'm tired. It's 11:35. I'm really, really tired. So I get like this. I get loopy when I get tired. But yeah, just losing all the people I lost. I mean, I have a lot of people out there that say, well, if they didn't stick by you and stuff, then they were never really your friend and stuff. And I don't look at it that way. I think they were conditional friends, meaning that if I had never came out, they would still be my friends. My friends, Kevin in particular, and I'll talk about him because he was always on my YouTube channel anyway. Kevin and I would get in our own little spats and arguments and stuff, and then we would go a month or two without talking, and eventually we'd become friends again. Longest period of time we were ever not talking to each other was about a year. And that was long. That was because the whole My Little Pony thing. That went a whole year before he forgave me. Even though, My Little Pony is okay. I don't care. But, Andy, oh jeez. I find it funny. just like yesterday or a day before that, someone asked, "Oh, when is Andy going to be back on the podcast, or when are you going to do videos with him again?" I have not spoken to Andy since last July. Last July, he hurt me. Not physically, but emotionally, and he was arrogant, and he was a real piece of shit. That's the way I have to say it. You know, and of course, every time I mention him or anything in any of my videos, he'll send me a text message saying, you know, why is this still a thing? And that's a quote, because he sees absolutely no wrongdoing in what he did. You know, and he's even gone as far as to write this elaborate shit with my ex, write this elaborate thing about it's called Lilith Speaks, and it's this stupid fucking Tumblr page that them two created just to write their viewpoint on what happened. And when I read these things, I mean, they write it in a way where a lot of information is skewed and it's not really, didn't happen exactly the way they say it did. And the funny, ironic thing about it is, you know, most of the arguments we had were done with Google Hangouts. So there's actually a log there. But, you know, they ruined my summer last year. And, you know, what's funny is when I came out as trans, it seemed that the people I was closest to needed more support than I did. And I thought that was really stupid, because here I am spilling my heart out and saying, hey guys, look, this is the issue. Like, the first person I came out to in my family was my aunt. And I told her, you know, I said, hey, I'm transgender. And, you know, I got a hug and they cried a bit, you know, because I think she understood what I was going to do. When I told my ex, same thing. She cried and, you know, she's like, we'll get through this. Damn right, we didn't get shit. Then, you know, little by little, like my friends and stuff, my friends seemed pretty okay with it in the beginning. Like Kevin, Andy, and a few other friends that I have that I've never had on any of my YouTube videos. And again, I use Kevin and Andy because they've been on my videos so many times. So, you know what? I'm making it public because, again, I was the one who got royally screwed over. And I think it's bullshit that I have to be silent while they, you know, hurt me in the way they did. Basically, when my relationship fell apart, I started hanging out with Kevin a lot, you know, because it was very tough. I was in a relationship for almost 14 years. I've known this person and was very close to her. And then, you know, things fell apart so quickly and unexpectedly. You know, am I wrong for thinking that after coming out, things would remain the same? Maybe I was, you know, but the way things happened were far worse than what happened. You know, basically being told that by tomorrow morning I wouldn't have a place to live. That is something that's unforgivable. And for people who you trusted and they trusted you, and for them to kick you out over being a transgender, and they did. You know, I was kicked out of a house for being transgender. And that's something I've never mentioned before. But I became homeless because my ex's family just couldn't handle the fact that I was trans. And it got blown out of proportion because they felt like their child was in danger, because during the first few months of me being trans or coming out, I was trying to get on hormones. And the problem is that I was already at the point of suicide. And I mean, I was contemplating killing myself by jumping in front of a subway train. And I was very close to doing it. And that's part of what drove me to come out and actually try to get help. So I tried to go to therapists, and therapists were being pointless and useless. They kept trying to like say, well, it's probably going to take like 10 or so sessions before we'll actually prescribe you hormones. I didn't want that. So I ended up going to Colin Lord, and Colin Lord allowed you to sign what's known as a informed consent. And I actually have the paperwork right there. So they allow you to sign with them. They check your health, make sure you don't have any liver failure or anything like that. And you basically sign a contract that you understand what you're getting yourself into. And I think every doctor should do it this way, because I know what I want. I know what I need. And I don't need people to get in my way. And I've spent one time $350 to sit into an endocrinologist's office, have her give me a breast examination, and then say, nope, I won't give you hormones unless you get a letter from a therapist. And I was devastated. I was like, I just spent $350 fucking dollars. I had to argue with my then boss to get half a day off just to go to that appointment, thus jeopardizing my job, and I didn't even get the hormones. So in the beginning, the first like 2 or 3 months when I came out, I was self-prescribing, self-medicating, and I was getting my hormones over the internet, which the sources of these medications are completely questionable. And I didn't want to put my body through risk, because sometimes they give you like sugar pills and stuff, so they fake it and they're not real pills. And I'm pretty sure I was taking sugar pills for a few months. So when I finally got prescribed medication, it was like a month after all the shitstorm that hit, where my ex ended up breaking up with me. I ended up finding out while Andy and my ex ended up announcing that they were in a relationship, and they did it in the worst possible way. I was completely blindsided by the whole thing. I didn't know that they were getting hooked up together and stuff, and I thought I was still in a relationship. So my ex ends up saying, hey, can we meet at the park? I miss you. I want to talk to you and stuff. So I was like, okay, so we're going to talk. I go to the damn thing. I get out of my car, and all of a sudden Andy gets out of the car with her. And I said, what's going on here? And them two, they're like, well, we're in a relationship. And for me, it was like I just worked a long day too. So I was like, fuck this. So I said, fine, do whatever. Because for me, I wasn't going to have this argument or discussion with them, because, it was like, I think it was like 9:30 at night or something when they did it to me. And, I went to Kevin's house, and I broke down crying, because I was like, are you fucking serious? A person that I devoted a lot of my time to and, attention to, and a person that I cared deeply about, was hooking up with somebody who I trusted as my friend. And the worst part about the whole thing was I was treated like an evil piece of shit throughout the entire process. So after I had cried and everything, the following morning I started texting my ex. And we started getting this huge argument and stuff. And again, it was this whole thing where my entire world went topsy-turvy. Everything I knew about life completely changed in the matter of a month. In a month, I was living like an hour and a half away from where I grew up. I was jobless. I was basically borrowing a room at my aunt's house, and every friend, one by fucking one, decided to just ignore me. And it got worse as the summer progressed. Kevin remained my friend, and the last time I saw him was the day before I left to go out to San Francisco, which didn't work out because I got screwed out of money. But, I left New Jersey primarily because my family wasn't using the proper pronouns and weren't calling me Catherine and any of that, and that would make me miserable. I go to visit my parents after being at my aunt's house for a while. I would go visit, try to spend a night. And they would even go as far to, as my dog, I have a dog named Rufus. I've shown you guys videos of him. They would go to Rufus. They would go get him, go get him. He's like, where's Johnny? Where's Johnny? Where's Johnny? And I'm like, I'm not Johnny anymore, you know? And I got into so many arguments with my dad over it. And my dad would just, you know, him and I would flip at each other. And then he would, just to spite me, he would just be like, fine, Catherine, you know, and he would do it in a very demeaning way. He wasn't doing it because he wanted to, you know, help me. He was doing it just to shut me up. And that happened everywhere. You know, like even my friend, you know, Kevin's parents and family, they all said, well, we don't care what you do. You're always going to be John to us. And that attitude as well is something where people treated me in such a cruel way. And then when I said something about it, they turn around and say, well, why, you know, how dare you kind of shit, you know? It was always, how dare you say this? How dare you say that? You know, we love you and you're changing this and blah, blah, blah. And they would flip at me whenever I asked for something very basic. All I asked my family and all I asked my friends to do was to call me Catherine and to call me she, her pronouns, which none of them do. So, yeah, when I moved out to Vegas and my cousin in Arizona, I was referred to Catherine all the time. No one ever called me John, ever. They were always using female pronouns. Yeah, out in public, I would still be referred to he until about the middle of October. Then I started being referred to as a female. So people would call me Miss and everything like that. And it felt wonderful. It really did. It was such a breakaway from the experience I was having in New Jersey. And this is the part that kind of got to me. I went back to New Jersey for the holidays. I went for 2 weeks. My parents continued to not use my pronouns, which is why I made the video that, you know, I hate being transgender. And part of me, I still do. I still hate being transgender because of this. But when I was in New Jersey, you know, my brother really wasn't hanging around me all that much. I mean, we would do a few things together, but he was devoting all of his time with his girlfriend, which, again, I don't blame him. You know, I felt abandoned considering the fact that I just moved 2,500 miles away and I just drove all the way back to visit my family. And I was on a time-limited thing. So I wanted to spend as much time as possible with my family. I ended up spending most of my time in my old room with the door closed and me crying into a pillow because, again, I constantly got into fights with my parents over gender pronoun use and my name. They insisted on calling me John still all the fucking time. And at that time, I was being identified as female out in public. If I went out in public, everyone would immediately assume that I'm female, unless they heard my voice, which wasn't, you know, it's still bad, but I was wearing a skirt. I was wearing this shit. I was wearing, you know, tank top and skirts and stuff, and my family wanted to switch from Verizon to T-Mobile. So I go out there so I can help them pick the right plans and stuff, because I had T-Mobile for about 1.5 years at the time. So my dad was like chatting it up a bit with the sales associate there, and he's like, well, my son over here, and he introduced me. He's like, yeah, this is my son, John. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? I wanted so badly to flip out at him in the store. But I could tell that the lady was like giving this weird look like, how, what? And I wanted so badly to just say, no, I'm sorry, my dad's senile, you know, he's getting up there in age. But, you know, it's those instances and stuff. And then if I say something about it, I get yelled at. If I say, hey, you know, I really don't appreciate that you're calling me this, and then they'll say, well, I don't appreciate it that you're giving us a hard time about this, and blah, 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 blah. You know, it just seems like I'm going against the grain with my family, with the friends and all that, and then I'm the one that's punished for doing so. You know, and if I ever mention things, it just escalates, and and that's why I think I'll stay out here in Vegas. I mean, as much as I would love to go back to New Jersey, and I wish things could go back to the way they were, I think a lot of people have blown this entire trans thing out of proportion. Kevin, kept saying to me, "Well, it's like my best friend is dying and all that," which he's not wrong. A lot of people feel that way whenever someone's transitioning into, the other to different gender. A lot of times people have this, I don't know what they call it, like they're mourning the death of someone, but I was still here. And for him, Kevin just couldn't get over the fact that I was going to be a female. And I mean, him and I would joke about it all the fucking time. I would joke around, like I would lay on his bed. I'd be like, "Hey, Kevin, you have a sexy woman in your bed." We would laugh it off and joke around and just, he would goof off too. But I think deep down inside, he just couldn't accept it. He couldn't handle it. Which, Kevin, if you're ever watching this video, which I'm pretty sure you don't anymore, but if you ever watch this video, you're like, "Look, I would love nothing more than to be your friend again." But things change and it sucks. But I think, I don't want people saying, "Oh, poor me," kind of shit. But understand that I haven't had the greatest support from my family and friends. The people who I trusted for so many years growing up really let me down when I needed them the most. When I lost my ex, when I lost a place that I called home, and my entire, world went into disarray, people were trying to belittle it or try to make it seem like it wasn't that big of a deal. And, my brother was pretty supportive. My brother right now is the only person who calls me Catherine. He has on many occasions called me sister or sis or, and it means the world to me that he does it. It really does. I was crying when he texted me, "I love you, Catherine," or "I love you, sister, sis." And I was crying because it's what I've wanted my whole life. I've always wanted to be a sister. I've always wanted to be a girl. And my brother was validating me for once. And, I have to say, I love my brother so much because no one else does it. No one else. I mean, I think my aunt started doing it because I legally changed my name. My dad still doesn't call me Catherine, even though I legally changed my name. My mom, my mom has helped out a little bit. She buys me dresses and stuff because she works for a company that makes dresses. But then again, I don't want the dresses. I just want my mother to acknowledge me as her daughter. That's something that would mean the world to me. If my mother would say, "I love you, Catherine," or something, I would be completely in tears, hugging the shit out of my mother. But the problem is people put their own personal opinions, beliefs, and emotions before mine. Which, okay, my family has called me selfish so many fucking times over this entire thing. But, is it really selfish to want people to acknowledge you for who you are? I mean, people can debate it all they want, but I'm a girl. I'm a female. I'm Catherine. But I've been through so much shit. And it's still coming. I mean, I'm unemployed again. I lost my job over some stupid shit. I didn't deserve to be let go at all. But now I have to deal with that. I have to deal with the fact that I might become homeless again and deal with more shit. But it's tough, guys. And that's why I say, that's why if you read my Tumblrs and you see that I go through all these emotions and suicidal thoughts and stuff, it's because my life is a fucking roller coaster, and it's just like once I think life is getting better, all of a fucking sudden, it's not, things are changing, things are getting worse, and I have to deal with it. And it's just so fucking frustrating, So, I'm gonna upload this video. You can comment it on if you want, it's just, I've been through hell and back. And, last summer was the worst summer of my life. And it was because I never had any support. And I still don't. I still do not have the support that I need desperately. And when I see, videos and stuff of parents that are going out of their way to give their son or daughter puberty blockers, and that they accompany their son or daughter to, doctor visits to get hormones or to get surgery and stuff, I wish I had that. I wish my family was 100% on board with me on this. I wish I didn't lose all my friends. I wish I didn't lose my relationship. These are things that I will always feel bad about. When I look in the mirror and I do see a female, there's a lot of negativity that goes along with that image. And it's because of everything that happened. And for me, I just can't get over it. I can't get over the fact that my life changed. And, I can't help but think about the good old days. But, I'm tired. It's late. And this is a long fucking video. I'm sure you guys are going to sleep at this point. But just know that, life is difficult. I'm trying to get through it. And I know that you guys are like, oh, I want these video game videos. I want these tech videos. I want these rants and stuff. But understand that all this time that I wasn't able to do them and stuff, and I was making pretty much trans videos, it's because I was battling a lot of shit. And, I'm still battling shit. I'm trying my best to survive. I'm trying my best, but some days I feel very defeated. Some days I feel like it's just finally ending it all, because it is hard. And all I want is just to be normal. All I want is to be acknowledged for who I am. And who I am is Catherine. So, take care, guys. Have a good night if you're watching this at night. And yeah, just soak it all in. And I'm sure I'm going to get yelled at for the things I've said in this video. It always manages to happen. I always end up getting yelled at by some asshole who's like, how dare you talk about this, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, you know what, really? Why am I not allowed to say things in my videos? Huh, Andy? Andy, if you're watching this shit, all I can say is, you're a sad excuse for a human being. You're a piece of shit, and you ruined last year for me. You really did. You really fucked me over. You made my life hell. Over what? True friends don't do what you did to me. And then on top of that, you have the audacity to write threats towards me and my family. That's what makes it worse. And that's why I hate you so much. It's because of what you did. And the fact that I'm being yelled at for saying something. Yeah, you can say that, publicly, blah, blah, blah. No one knows you in real life. Point of it is that I'm the one that got screwed over more ways than none. And, more ways than one. I'm, tired as shit. But at the end of the day, I'm still alive. I'm still, struggling and still pushing. But I just hope people change. I really do. And when I look at the internet and I look at these news articles about trans people, and when I look at, everything, I realize that this world isn't getting any better with it. People still have the wrong idea about who we are, and even the people that I loved and trusted have the wrong idea of who I am. So, take care, guys.